Hello and welcome. I'm Ed Tyson, architect of the Leadership SOPs and author of From Expert to Executive, Mastering the SOPs of Leading. Leadership SOPs are your standard operating procedures for structuring, operating, and perfecting your communities of effort. In this one sentence, we reveal the purpose, work, and process of leading, using our trademark Leadership SOPs acronym to stand for both our process-based methodology, standard operating procedures, and our comprehensive framework for structuring, operating, and perfecting communities of effort. In my last video, Scope It, we began a tour of the structure domain by introducing the scope model and process. The SCOPE acronym helps us remember the 5 critical elements which form the business architecture of a community of effort, standing for the strategies which honor and drive the culture, achieve business objectives, and realize the community's purpose within the broader ecosystem. We also drove home the point that strategy discussions don't start with talking strategy. They begin first by examining and summarizing your ecosystem and determining the purpose within that ecosystem. Then formulating and describing your business objectives, making sure to balance those objectives by reinforcing the desired culture. And lastly, as a final step, then crafting and communicating powerful strategies which inform resource deployment and action across the community of effort. In this follow-up video, we are going to pick up where we left off and explore the second half of the structure domain by discussing the elements required to complete an organizational design. We call this organizational design process scoping the work because it involves applying the community of effort's scope to the work it must complete, where work is an acronym standing for describing the actual work methods and tools, identifying the appropriate organizational structure, roles and responsibilities, calibrating rewards and recognition systems, and determining the knowledge and capabilities you require, as well as devising strategies to grow or acquire them. Let's break down each dimension to understand it better, starting with the work methods, and tools. These components generally form what is commonly known as an operating model. Operating models depict the input, throughput, and output of the value streams relevant to a community of effort, providing a high-level overview of the deliverables, the producers of those deliverables, and the mechanisms by which these deliverables are produced and transferred to other parties across the value chain, including intermediate and end customers. Organizational structures are the embodiment of your people strategy, depicting what types of human resources will be deployed where, by whom, and in what natural groups and hierarchy. Most simply, there are 4 types which tend to be deployed across most modern businesses. First, the division model, which deploys a full complement of talent to geographic, product, or customer-based entities. As an example, we might think of a global consulting organization which has fully independent operating divisions based on geographies around the world, with very few shared services being applied across those geographies. In this example, if the organization held to a strict division model, we would expect to find a leadership team comprised of regional presidents or EVPs, but not functional heads like chief human resource officers, senior VPs of engineering, or sales and marketing, for instance. The division model works best when each division requires the ability to autonomously customize product and service development and delivery, and the organization as a whole does not need to harness enterprise talent and enterprise synergies. Next up, the functional model. It groups people into departments based on their expertise. In a functional organization, you will find departments and organizational leadership representing functions like sales and marketing, legal, engineering, HR, technology, and finance. The functional model is great for ensuring the development of focused expertise, establishing consistency, and realizing efficiencies across the enterprise. Most of all, functional organizations help foster cross-functional collaboration around key work streams and develop deep pools of talent in key competencies, as they often provide for a robust career ladder within each functional department. Process models, on the other hand, align people and teams according to the primary steps in core value streams of the company, creating departments like procurement, receiving, then manufacturing, and finally fulfillment. The process model selects for efficiency, connectedness, and consistency across value streams. It can help enable and develop process improvement and customer-focused cultures. Finally, there is the matrix model. It most often formally assigns people to functional teams based on their areas of expertise, but then loans them out on a day-to-day basis to well-organized projects and programs consisting of the leadership and interdisciplinary teams required for success. The matrix model attempts to reflect the best of both worlds between functional and process-oriented models by developing the discrete talent necessary while deploying that talent in interdisciplinary teams versus functional silos. Of course, no organizational structure is perfect. Each has its strengths and limitations. This brings us back to the WORK acronym and the R, standing for Calibrating Rewards and Recognition Systems. Respecting this step is an important part of ensuring there are clear incentives for engaging in behaviors which align with your scope and incorporate the intended work methods and tools you've identified. This calibration implies embracing a total rewards perspective and reviewing all of the formal and informal systems for rewarding behavior, including salary, healthcare, and wellness benefits, incentive compensation programs, and your formal and informal recognition programs and practices. Often reviews of these systems tease out conflicting messages between your strategies and the actual way people garner favor, achieve promotions, or are otherwise compensated for their extra effort. For instance, do you have a bonus program which emphasizes old behaviors instead of new ones? Or does your strategy require departmental collaboration, but promotions are based on meeting siloed performance targets which don't take into account holistic collaboration and final performance? And that brings us back to the issue of recognizing and acquiring the knowledge and capabilities represented in the K of the WORK acronym. Often, we fail to miss incremental changes in technologies and work as they occur slowly over time, and then suddenly awaken to the fact that we are trying to succeed with today's strategies with a team which is only familiar with yesterday's work. What new talents and capabilities do you need? Can they be developed internally, or do they need to be acquired in the marketplace and added to the team? Crafting the right strategies to grow or gather the knowledge and capabilities you need rounds out the WORK acronym and puts you in an excellent position to begin scoping your work. When will you do it? How will you do it? Who will you do it with? Give it some thought and start establishing your new leadership SOPs today. Remember, scope the work to provide some or all of these organizational design deliverables: environmental scans, mission statements, vision statements, annual objectives and performance scorecards, values statements, and strategic plans, operating models, design principles or criteria, organizational charts, position descriptions, total reward systems, and development and recruitment strategies. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial and are inspired to dig deeper into the structure domain by learning more and crafting, deploying, and continuously improving your leadership SOPs for scoping the work. In our next video, we'll discuss setting the pace by digging in to the operate domain. Until then, you can visit leadershipsops.com, where you can explore the SOPs of leading on your own, order my book, Book a Speaking Engagement, learn how to become a Leadership SOPs coach, or get some coaching yourself. You can even find out more information on our strategic training partnership with Leaderology, which has produced 3 immersive levels of in-person or virtual training for executives, managers, and supervisors. Please find, follow, and engage with us on LinkedIn. Now, let's do something together we could never do alone.